Welcome back, everyone. So, this article is about an ongoing case in Japan. And, nothing has been decided yet. We've got two sides of the story, and we are waiting for the courts to make their final decision. So, remember, this is just all alleged, and, we don't know the answer yet. But the Aussie's side of the story. He was currently on a work visa, work exchange visa in Japan. And he was working there. He was also studying a bit of Japanese and just, enjoying his time away from home for a year, as many Australians do these days. But one night, he had had quite a bit to drink. He was on his way home from the bar, and he's a fan of parkour, which is that sort of, looks rather dangerous sport where you're sort of jumping onto walls and off walls and jumping over gaps and running up walls and doing backflips. And it's a very energetic thing that obviously I'm not that interested in. But anyway, it's very popular in Australia. And so he's doing a bit of parkour on the way back. And he happens to notice, I think it's on a second floor veranda of somebody's house, a strong smell of kerosene gas. And he can see a sort of canister up there and it's open. And I'm not quite sure why he's so worried about it, but anyway, so because he's good at parkour, he easily jumps up to this second floor veranda, sees, yes, there's this open canister of kerosene, and he knocks on the window to try and warn the person inside. Now, the guy living in the apartment was a 70-year-old Japanese man, and I'm guessing perhaps his English isn't great, or he doesn't speak English. Why would he? Maybe 70-year-old Japanese guy. And so the Australian guy claims, he said to the old man, go to a door. Can you walk? With the intention, he's trying to warn this guy, there is an open canister of kerosene out here. You should leave the house. But problem is, in Japanese, that phrase, go to a door, can you walk? It sounds similar to a Japanese phrase of, this is a robbery. What was it? This is
Where's
a
the
robbery.
money?
Where's the money? If you look in the article, and I'm not going to even attempt to pronounce the Japanese phrase, but maybe you can imagine how this might sound in Japanese. They do sound a little bit similar. So the court accuses him of saying, you didn't say that in English. You were threatening him in Japanese. And he said, no, I know I've studied Japanese, but I've only been here a short time. I haven't learned words like robbery and where's the money. This is not the basic Japanese that I've been learning. So the case is going to go to court, and we'll have to see whether he can prove what he said in English or whether or not he said something threatening in Japanese. It remains to be seen. But quite a funny story nonetheless, and quite interesting, yes, that go to the door. When I saw it written in Japanese, it really does sound like this is a robbery.
I need to look
go
at
to a
that
door,
again.
go to a door. Anyway, sorry to Japanese listeners, but I can't pronounce that well. Anyway, yes, a rather terrible case of potential misunderstanding, or maybe the Aussie is lying and he really was trying to rob this poor old Japanese man. I hope that's not the case. So, okay. The Aussie in question was there on a working holiday visa. Do you know anyone who has stayed in a country on a working holiday visa?
As it has it, I do have a friend who stayed in Australia on a working visa, worked at a couple farms down there. The experience was by and large enjoyable. There were definitely some moments of, I'm definitely a foreigner and people are treating me like that. Maybe crossing over to discrimination here and there.
Oh, I see.
But by and large, he had a great time, has a lot of experience from there, learned a lot of English, of course, and was able to kind of jump into the everyday life in Australia. Since he did work on a farm, it was, the people who were working with him and stuff either were Australians or immigrants, but they all went out to the bars and stuff like that, went out to different areas, hung out, so it was a good, immersive experience. I've almost thought about what if I did that? It's sad. A lot of the work visas have age limits that I am past.
Yes, me too.
I was like, maybe I could do a work. Oh, I'm too old now.
Not anymore. Yes.
Yeah.
I think it's really low for Australia. It's like 30.
I'm like,
I'm 12 years
why?
past that. So, does your country have any special reciprocal visa arrangements with other countries?
This question was like, what? So I had to Google reciprocal visas, and it's talked about some sort of reciprocating law. And I'm like, what? And I'm going through pages and pages of Google. Finally, I found that there are a few countries, mostly in South America and Europe, and South Korea, where there are these sort of visas where there is some sort of give and take with the visa programs. My feeling is that America may not have the most out there. I think America, especially these days, is getting more and more strict on who they give visas to and where they give visas to, and especially deals with visas. But yeah, there are some out there.
Yeah. I think I remember before the war broke out in Ukraine, I remember when Russia and Korea did a sort of reciprocal work visa thing. You could come for maybe even a year or maybe 6 months to do sort of, cultural exchange. That was pretty cool. But I guess that's maybe over now. I don't know.
Suspended at least, I'm sure.
Yes. So anyway, not to pry into your English life, but it's time for the vocabulary. Maybe you should go check it out, and we've worn out our welcome, in your life. So you take over from here, study a bit of English on your own, and come back and see us next time. Bye-bye.
Reciprocal.
Reciprocal.
Antics.
Antics.
Parkour.
Parker.
Kerosene.
Kerosene.
Pry.
Pry.